Hey everybody, I'm Pete with McStain. We're here to do a pre-drywall walk and see what's behind the walls at our new products at Painted Prairie. We've got seven different plans, and this is one of the biggest ones. At a pre-drywall walk, we go through and we show you everything that's behind the walls, and so we'll do that as an example for this room. One of the things that you'll have is receptacle space per code, 12 feet spacing between all the way around the usable walls in the room. We have a supply vent here that'll pump warm or cold air into the room depending on the season. This is a loft, and so we have low voltage, low and high, wires down low, and then you can run your cable in the wall up high to hide things. One of the nice things about a pre-drywall meeting is you can find what's behind your walls. So if you take some pictures now, you won't put screws into this later when you're mounting your TV. We also like to point out what your switches control. We have switches for our lights in our loft, and in the loft here we have 4 for the loft, and then we have separate lights for the hallway. You'll notice a different box here. It's a rectangle, that's for your smoke detector. So while we're upstairs, we'll point out the radon fan, and what this does is it has a pipe that runs all the way down to underneath the crawl space, and it'll draw air from underneath the house up out through the roof. That'll reduce your radon exposure in your house. We only show one fan here, but we have a second fan in the crawl space, and that fan is above the ground and just helps any humidity get pumped out of your crawl space to outside the house. So we'll talk a little bit about our baffles. Everybody has questions on these. When we add our insulation, it'll be a thick blanket of insulation above the ceiling. We still need to have air allowed to go up from our eaves, past the insulation, up to the ridge where air will escape. This allows that air to travel without affecting the insulation. So we'll talk a little bit about some ventilation. In the laundry room, we have our whole house fan. The whole house fan is going to run all of the time. And what this does is it gets our minimum air changes per hour for the house. We get new fresh air being drawn in other areas of the house and pushed out here. It helps always have fresh air, not using your HVAC system. Another thing to point out would be our transfer grills. This allows balanced pressure throughout your house, throughout the rooms. So when somebody closes a door in another part of the house, this door doesn't slam closed by itself. It helps keep everything balanced. So our windows that we install at McStain are 2-pane, low E. They're filled with argon gas and neutral gas, and that helps our energy efficiency as well. We'll talk a little bit about insulation. We have a 2x6 exterior wall, and we do blown-in insulation here. So they'll put a net over it, blow in insulation, get a nice high R value. One thing that we like to do that not a lot of builders do is spray polyurethane around the rim. This gets you a nice air seal as well as a high R value. In all of our houses out here at McStain, we use a tankless water heater. It's great. The intake and exhaust go to outside, and you'll have hot water on demand all the time without a large footprint of a big tank. We'll talk a little bit about our wiring. This is your low volt box. It has all of the Cat 6 and coax cable that run throughout your house. You can connect everything through a single point here, which makes it really convenient. On the other side of the water heater, we have our electrical panel. We like to put these either in the garage or in the basement so you don't have to go outside if any breaker trips. But this is where all the breakers are for every circuit in your house. So we'll talk a little bit about our furnace and our HVAC system. We use a high efficiency furnace. So we have an intake and an exhaust that go directly outside. We don't have any combustion air open to the outside that comes in. It's a very nice feature. If we spin around here and we look at the water line, this is the water line that comes into the house from the street. It goes through a valve, then it goes through your PRV, pressure reducing valve. This is the thing that controls the pressure of the water in your house. Then we do a nice feature where we split off. One controls the house, one controls the irrigation. We'll talk about our sump pit and our perimeter drain system for the house. The perimeter drain is under the ground around the inside of the foundation. It can also be exterior, but here it's interior. It collects any groundwater, brings it to this pit, and there's a pump in there that'll eject it up and away from the house into the swale and take water away from your foundation, protecting the longevity of your home.